supporters, because this area here, the area below those two rooftops, had in fact been something of a battleground, and that had been the front line that was shifting backwards and forwards. And it is significant because the point at which the projectiles started to be thrown from the roof was a moment at which the anti-government demonstrators had advanced and had captured about 100 meters of terrain. It was at that moment that the projectiles started to fall, which would suggest that they were being hurled by pro-government supporters who used those projectiles to force the anti-government demonstrations to retreat back to their earlier positions closer to the square. Now I see another emergency vehicle now below. There are emergency vehicles attempting to approach the square, but in a very limited manner when you bear in mind the extent of the injuries that just anecdotally, just on an eyewitness basis, have been reported by colleagues around the square.
And it's certainly interesting, Jackie, that these emergency vehicles are only arriving now when these clashes started, what, over 3 hours ago, nearly 4 hours ago now. These emergency vehicles are only arriving now, and the army still hasn't intervened in any of these clashes. What do you make of that, and what do you think it's going to take for the army to get involved?
Well, in the case of the emergency vehicles not intervening, I mean, again, that plays into the hands, or would appear to support, the argument of President Mubarak that only he can provide the security and stability that the country needs. I mean, as I was saying to you earlier, Folly, even at the height of the anti-government festival that we saw 24 hours ago, there were nevertheless people in the streets surrounding the square who were asking questions about the wisdom of this route along which the opposition had embarked. And one man asked, what will happen now, you know, if your child is taken ill? What will happen now? How can you be sure that an ambulance will come if someone is taken ill? So there is this feeling that the lack of response of emergency services, the breakdown, if you like, of a whole infrastructure of a state is as a direct result of the opposition demonstrations. So all of these things really appear to back up the argument that President Mubarak is trying to push, that he is a vital force for order and stability in the country.
All right, Jackie, for the moment, thank you very much for that. Right now, for our viewers just joining us now and watching these events unfold in Egypt, trouble has erupted in Cairo's Tahrir Square, and it started around 4 hours ago now after a peace